as English. Hi, everybody. First, I want to introduce the musicians here. On drums, we have Yair Smoilov. I got it right? Yeah. Yes, good. Yair is not only an amazing drummer and percussionist, but he also builds guitars. It's a luthier, right? Luthier? Yeah. Yes. Builds and fixes guitars. And then here on bass, we have, Tal Feder. And Tal and I have actually played together before, which is wonderful. And I hope we'll play many times in the future. And on piano, we have Ziv Avraham. And Ziv is, he runs a jazz collective in Haifa. Did I say that right? Yeah. Something like that? Yeah. Where they do jams and shows. He's deep in the jazz world in Haifa. And we're just so happy to be here playing for you guys. And just a quick thing about this Chanukah project, Jazzukah. This was started a while ago, like a year ago, this project started. It was a friend of mine, Gil Scheffler, and he wanted to breathe new life into the Chanukah classics. And he loves jazz, and he wanted to, give them a jazz sound. And we started working together. And then October 7th happened, and there was quiet. Nothing happened for a while. Just everything stopped. Life stopped. The world stopped. And then when we spoke, he was like, what are we even doing? Like, we had shows booked in New York. What are we even doing playing this music? And I was like, no. Now, we have to play this music. We have to, because this is our soul, and this is what Chanukah is about. And this next song that we're going to do kind of brings back, suddenly Chanukah, for many of us, it lost didn't lose, but in the past it was like presents, gelt, dreidels, latkes, candles. But this year, Chanukah really was brought back to its initial meaning. And the next song, Banu Choshech Legaresh, it's an Israeli, also the one we just did is an Israeli Chanukah song. And we've come to expel the darkness. And each one of us is a light, and together we form this huge, massive, powerful light. And so we're gonna do this song kind of funky, because this song's about light, and it's about banishing the dark. And actually, I saw it in this country, in Israel, we have been banishing the dark with everyone just mobilizing and helping each other. And you may as well give it a funky groove if you want it to be fun. So, we'll Banu Choshech Legaresh.
על השחור, סורה מפני האור.
Okay, so our next song is a song that I think most of you guys know. It's a song in Ladino, written by Flori Jagoda. And I don't know, it kind of speaks for itself. It's a really great song. And basically, it actually goes back to the fun of Chanukah. Like the first song we sang was just like that the fun of Chanukah, like the beauty of it, right? The parties we're going to have, and the candles, and the pastelicos we're going to eat with almonds and honey, and the sweetness of this holiday. Ocho candelicas. Chanukah linda está aquí, ocho candelas para mí. Chanukah linda está aquí, ocho candelas para mí. Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. Muchas fiestas voy a hacer con alegrías y placer. Muchas fiestas voy a hacer con alegrías y placer. Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. pastelicos vou comer, con almendricas y la miel. Los pastelicos vou comer, con almendricas y la miel. Oh, una candelica, dos candelicas, tres candelicas, cuatro candelicas, cinco candelicas, seis candelicas, siete candelicas, ocho candelas para mí. So our next song really doesn't need an introduction. It's one that you all for sure know. It's something we all know from our childhood. We're going to try to breathe it some new life. And yeah, if you're listening at home, sing with us. Dreidel, I made it out of clay, and when I dry and ready, oh, dreidel I shall play. It has a lovely body with legs so short and thin. Oh, and it gets all tired, it drops and then I win. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, oh, dreidel I shall play. Dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when it gets old, oh, a dreidel I shall play. So our next song, our next and final song, is one of the most well-known songs for Chanukah. It's also part of our Chanukah liturgy. And it's funny, when Ziv and I were having a rehearsal and we were going over the material, I said, okay, so now we're going to do Maoz Tzur. And he was like, do we have to? And I was like, of course we have to. It's Maoz Tzur. And he was like, it just, it sanctifies war, and like it celebrates war, and we've got a peacenik over here, and no, but we're all we're all ultimately peaceniks. I said, like, well, what do you want instead? We're at war, and he's like, peace. I was like, we all want peace. Of course we want peace. And we had a little argument for a while, and it was okay, and we're still friends. And but it is interesting because I think, many of us, we sing this song and we don't really think about the meaning. And some of it is pretty ugly, and we're at war right now, and war is ugly. And even when we nitzachon, what's the word in English? Victory. Even when we are victorious at the end of a war, which I hope that we will be, we celebrate victory, but we've lost people, Even a victory is not 100% happy and joyous. So we're going to do Maoz Tzur, and we're giving it kind of a gospel feel. And I think for me what that is it's a deeply spiritual song, and we want to kind of bring back the pain, and we want to kind of feel that pain with us in Maoz Tzur. And the hope. Maoz Tzur Yeshuati Lecha Tikon beit tefilati v'sham Okay, everybody, that is our show. Thank you so much for inviting us to sing for you guys and to play for you guys. I want to once again introduce everybody and thank our musicians today. So, first of all, on drums, sorry, he's fixing his earphones. On drums, we've got Yair Smoilov. Smoilov, I'm gonna get it. And then on bass, again, we have Tal Feder. Yes. And on piano, we have Ziv Avraham. And I don't want to forget, very important. Oh, myself. Who am I? I'm Elana Rozenfeld. And one last person we must thank, because without sound, like, you don't hear us. So our sound guy, where are you? He's somewhere. Yes. Zhenya. Thank you so much. What's your last name, Zhenya? Zhenya Los. Alos? Los, Zhenya Los. Thank you so much. Thank you. And yeah, we are here at Tachanat HaKemach, the, what do you call it? The flour? Windmill, yeah. The flour mill. The flour mill. Windmill is another place. And I hope you visit us sometime when you're in Israel and you're in the north. So thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. Chag Sameach. Happy, where are we? 7th night of Hanukkah. I'm so excited to be here with the wonderful collective of the Jazzukah Project, who just performed so beautifully for us. And we're excited for our community here at Anshe Emet to get to know each of you just a little bit better. We are excited to hear about who you are as people, as musicians, and about what life is like for you right now over in Israel, both as you experience just this insane time over in Israel and also life as a musician, as you navigate what it means for this to be your livelihood and your art form during this particular time. So I'm going to turn it over to you and let you kind of go around and introduce yourselves. Elana, maybe we'll start with you and go around. And this is the Jazzukah Collective.
Okay, so I'm Elana Rozenfeld, and I made Aliyah 3 years ago from Boston, and I was a conservative cantor in America for a bunch of years, and now I am I'm performing, teaching contemporary voice, and teaching B'nai Mitzvah, and mommying.
Very important.
Very important.
Hi, my name is Yair. I'm a drummer and drum teacher. Also, build and repair guitars for a living. And that's it. Trying to make it in this crazy time.
Thank you.
I'm Ziv. I play the piano. I'm a piano teacher. I write some music, jazz music, and I produce jazz events around Haifa.
I'm Tal. I'm the bass player. I also teach and doing some research. I have a daughter who's playing drums, and she studied with Yair, so we're all like a big family here, living also nearby.
That's
Very happy to be
wonderful.
here.
And my daughter also is dying to play the drums, so I hope she doesn't watch this because she'll be very inspired. And actually, I do want to point out, where are you all located?
Right, so we're all right. So Ziv lives in Haifa, but we're all, let's see. No, you're in Yokneam. So we're all basically like in the general Haifa area. Tal and I live in Kiryat Tivon, and yeah, we're all kind of in the. So we're in the north, but not super high north, kind of mid-north.
Got it. Got it. So tell us a little bit about this project. It was so perfectly timed with this holiday that we got to present your beautiful music, Jazzukah. But what inspired this particular project, and was this something that you had conceived of before October 7th, or is this something that sort of came about in the wake of October 7th?
Yeah, so absolutely, this started way before October 7th. It was the producer, Gil Scheffler. He's the producer of the project. He's an Israeli American. He lived in America for many years, and he wanted to breathe a new. He's not a musician, and he wanted to it was like for himself, he wanted to do this project. He wanted to breathe a new life into Chanukah music for himself and for his family. And I, we got in touch somehow, and he wanted me on it started as an album, and we released one single just recently, a few days ago, and we played that today, and we're gonna do the rest of that. It got what's the word? Delayed because of the war, but so for next year we're gonna have the full album. But yeah, and he got this wonderful musical director who is this excellent bass player in Israel, Gilad Abro, and he's the musical director of the project. And yeah.
That's exciting. And understandably, things were delayed and waylaid once the war broke out. So I'm wondering, how did October 7th sort of change or strengthen your resolve to make this project happen?
Right. So the way the project was originally thought of was that this is light, holiday music, like Hanukkah music. It wasn't thought
uncomplicated.
Uncomplicated. Latkes, dreidels, fun. And when October 7th happened, first of all, there was silence for a while. And at some point, the producer said to me on the phone, at some point when we started talking, a couple weeks after, maybe 3 weeks after, he said, what are we even doing? Because we had shows booked in New York, like 5 shows booked in New York, and we were going to go to New York for 6 days and 5 shows. And he was like, what are we even doing singing Hanukkah music? And I was like, Gil, Hanukkah is about way more than latkes and dreidels. Now we actually, especially now, we have to sing this music because it's about exactly what we just experienced and are experiencing. And yeah.
Leaning away from the latkes and dreidels and into the strength and resolve and the miracles, the return.
Fighting for the right to exist.
So I'd love to hear from each of you a little bit about what your life is like as a full-time musician. I think everyone can hear, even from your introductions, it's such a good reminder that no musician is only doing their one instrument, right? Every musician is sort of multifaceted, right? Whether you're also composing, teaching, playing multi-instruments, you all are actually incredibly multi-talented, and I'm not sure everyone knows that. So I'm curious if you can share a little bit about your life as full-time working musicians and how the war has affected your life as full-time working musicians.
I can say things. First of all, of course, at the beginning, there were a lot of cancellations. One reason is the situation, for security reason, you couldn't gather too many people in one place. There are missiles being fired to Tel Aviv and other places. And the other reason is that people didn't have so much mood to have fun at the beginning. But actually, since the first weeks of the war, I volunteered to play in front of people that were evacuated from their homes in the north, in the south. And I felt how strong and how important is music, especially these days. Music is not some kind of a luxury, like a leisure activity. I think music has a lot of strength in helping people to relax, to find some comfort, to sometimes maybe find some way to just distract yourself from all the tension and the agony that you experience. And even playing in front of people that really were really affected, I felt how they want to hear music and to detach for 1 hour. And also as a musician, I felt like the best hours in the week, the hours where when I didn't feel the tension around me, was when I was playing. So I just want to say that I felt how important art is for everything, for learning, for finding comfort, for remembering, and just to feel alive, because life has to go on somehow eventually.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think. I had actually a show that I was supposed to play in on that specific day in the morning, and I got to the show, and then it was canceled. Like the moment I stepped out of the car, it was canceled. I knew
Did
that
you
would
go to the
happen.
gig knowing the war had already broken out? Like, what time was this?
Yeah. I was in the far north and came back to Haifa for the show,
Mm.
and I knew what was going on, and me and my wife, we said it will probably get canceled, but I still went there to because there was no notice until that moment, so got there, it was canceled, and I think this is the first time I've been doing, like, or maybe the second time since it started, that I've been doing actual music playing, not with myself at home. I was recruited at the start of the war for 2 weeks, and then even when I got home, it took a while to clear my mind and get back to playing. And as I said earlier, me and a partner, we have this thing called Offbeat Society, where we produce a lot of jazz events in Haifa, and there was no events until, like, at some point we managed to do two events for donation for the kidnapped families, and at that moment we could see the power of music over people, about how hungry people were for music. And also, music is it's a healing thing. Like, it's fact that it's a healing thing. Like, people with Alzheimer, when they hear music, they change. When, like, a baby inside their mother's womb can hear music, when they are born, they speak in music. That's the way for them to communicate with the mother at the start. And these are all facts, and we could actually see this thing happens in these events. And we're just now going back in 2 or 3 weeks into organizing more shows, proper paid shows, because we didn't really feel comfortable asking people for money until that point. But at some point we said, okay, but we want to pay the musicians,
Yeah.
and there was no, like, most musicians. I teach mostly, but other musicians who mostly perform, they didn't have any shows to perform that weren't like pro bono, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Ear, how about you?
Well, since it started on October 7th, well, everything stopped. Everything stopped, and I got to tell you the truth. I didn't have any inspiration to do nothing. Everything's so bad. So I really didn't had everything canceled, as they said, before everything canceled. But I didn't had any inspiration. Lucky I have the students, so I can make a living and keep teaching, and it's holding me up. But until now, I didn't really played. I did maybe two like sacred music. People gather in the homes and just sing together to a little bit to bring the energy up. Some very soft songs together, just to sing together with a couple of acoustic instruments, something like that. Here in the community, not a, it's not a work, just volunteer to make a little bit, not to bring the energy up, but that's it. I think that after 2 months, just coming a little bit up, but still far. That's it.
I
Basically.
think you each touched on something that I just want to lift up for a moment, that in the nature of the work that you do as artists, it's impossible to do this work if it's not done honestly and with your full self. Now, you're professionals, so you could show up, certainly, and teach your students, play, but every time that you go out with your instrument to play something, you're really digging into the depths of who you are and to your spirit to bring that up. And it sounds like, just from each of you, there were spaces where you were able to find that when it was in service to other people during this time. And then otherwise, you're living through an immense trauma right now that you yourself as a human being are trying to internalize and understand, and what that can do to your work, not just externally. The gigs are canceled, the students are gone, but also you yourself. Where do you find that motivation to even sit down at the piano or pick up the bass or open your voice, whatever it is, to sing? I was reminded when you were talking, Tal, about from our tradition, Al Naharot Bavel, that I sat by the riverside and laid down our instruments because we were so bereft. And I think collectively we all felt that. And I just want to point out the courage and the bravery that it takes for you to try to access those places of beauty, because you understand how much we, the Jewish people, the Israelis, where you are, how much that is needed. And just let you know that we see that. And that's not easy. So I was going to ask how it's been making music over the last 8 weeks. I think you shared that. I'm wondering if there's been any particular moment that has stood out to you, either kind of expanding on what you said, something that was incredibly difficult or something that was a turning point, whether there's a moment over these last 8 weeks that's really meant something in particular to you musically.
I think I experienced a few moments like that playing in front of people. In Israel, people were evacuated from the north, from the south, even like towns that were not like directly affected by the war, but just as a precautionary measure, they were evacuated. So actually, there are like, I think, thousands, 10,000, even more. A huge number of people now just living in hotels or in other kibbutzim that just are hosting them. So I played in some concert just to volunteer in such places, and every time I didn't know. Do these people really want to hear music now? But every time, just seeing their faces light up, and the children are dancing, and they're happy, and they're asking for a song, a specific song, and just experiencing that, to see the inner strength of life, even in the hardship, how your soul wants to flourish, to blossom, to be in contact with a life force that music just is emblematic of some life force that is flowing through us. It's not us, it's just flowing through us. We just let it flow. So these moments were really strong and gave me a lot of hope to see that people really are strong, even if the conditions are very dire.
That's beautiful. In general, what do you love about your work? How does your Jewish identity infuse what you do, and what do you love about what you do?
I guess I can start with that. My Judaism, this is for me personally, my Judaism has always been part of my music, and my music always part of my Judaism. So I grew up on listening to Jewish music and jazz, and like that's basically how I grew up, listening to those two. And I remember, so they're deeply connected for me, stylistically. But it's interesting, as I thought about what these guys were saying about the last for me over this process, it was a process from October 7th until now, for me to open up, because I didn't open my mouth for 2 weeks. Like, I couldn't sing, I couldn't even, and for me, actually, how I started to sing was through davening, because I started to daven in the morning, because I felt like, even though I don't typically really have like a regular prayer practice, I just felt like now is the time. My prayers are needed, and I started just like singing nigunim to myself, which like also isn't what I do when I do daven to myself. I don't really want music in there, but like this was somehow it was like what you said about the people who had moved. Like it kind of like it helped me heal a little bit, and so I think that was, I don't know, that was part of how Jewish music in particular kind of helped me heal. And yeah.
It's beautiful. Nigun, the wordless melodies that are very common in our tradition. Hmm. Who else? What else do you love about what you do?
In those times, it's very helpful to connect to the sources, of yourself, the deep sources of Judaism and Torah and Tehillim. So when people gather and sings together, Tehillim and all this Modeh Ani Lefanecha, all this kind of deep lyrics that they have some meaning for each and everybody in the circle. So it's connect very deeply. So I think
That's
great
really
effort.
beautiful.
Helps to bring the energy a little bit up. It gives some hope and
Tehillim being the Psalms from our tradition, and then Yair's talking about Modeh Ani Lefanecha, which is a blessing that we say in the morning of gratitude, the gratitude of being alive and of being able to wake up in the morning.
exactly.
Anybody else? No pressure. Well, thank you all so much. It's really a gift and an honor to speak with you. We absolutely loved your music. And I just want to put out there, you all offer lessons on your various instruments. And you all offer lessons over Zoom. So perhaps if anybody in our community or that may watch this is interested in some bass or drum or piano or voice lessons, we have 4 experts right here who are all incredible human beings and incredible musicians and incredible teachers. So if that's okay, I just want to put that out there as well, that the beauty of Zoom, the gift Zoom has given us is erasing that time and space continuum, so you can have a real life drum lesson from Israel to Chicago. So my daughter might be taking you up on that. Well, thank you so much to Elana Rozenfeld, to Tal Feder, Yair Samoilov, and Ziv Avraham. And as well, we are not having them on the Zoom right now because they are elsewhere. Thank you for making this time work. But Gil Scheffler, who produced this wonderful project, and Gilad Abro, your music director for this project. And kol hakavod to all of you. Thank you so much. Am Yisrael Chai and Chag Sameach. And we wish you all a wonderful Hanukkah.